Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thanks for joining. Hey, thank you, subscribers, viewers, watchers, trolls, whatever. We certainly appreciate your participation in the channel. Today is a little different. We took and spent the day with 4 girls and a lesbian. And it was a different kind of day, that's for sure. Now, there's a twist to this, and so we're going to talk about it. All right. So, I have to preface this with a little bit of background information. Just give me 2 minutes of your time to understand the backstory on this. During pandemic, all right, we arrived here. We actually were coming to the Philippines, and on the day of lockdown of the pandemic, we arrived. So, in the Candy resorts, all right, Tower 1, Tower 2, Tower 3, Grosvenor, Chatsworth, this place emptied out. There were probably, I would say, less than 30 full-time residents left. And of those 30 full-time residents, they were people like us that said, we're here, we're staying. There were people that were actually stuck here. And then there were people that were transitioning and going back and forth. Little did we know that it was going to be 2 years before things went back to normal. But it did. And it was. And I will tell you right now, during pandemic, it was great. We had everything, honestly, even though we were restricted. You know, I was allowed to go to the pharmacy, doctor's appointments, the bank, and the grocery store. And other than that, I had to stay in this barangay. Well, in addition to the people that were stuck here, we also had a large number, I would say 20 or so girls, women, who were LDRs, fiancés, live-ins, girlfriends, whatever, that were living as well because they got stuck. They couldn't go back to the province, number one, and so their boyfriends, husbands, whatever, were sending money every month for them to survive. But for many of them, it wasn't a lot of money. All right, they had to pay the rent, everything else. So we were stuck here in the barangay in our little 1-block area. But the barangay is like, maybe 5-7 blocks altogether. So we were stuck. And since we were stuck, we made the best of it. So we had several pools. We had 2 restaurants that were open for most of pandemic. The main restaurant was open the whole time, although no in dining. It was just room delivery. And then there was another one, the Orange Cafe. It was open for about a year of the last year of pandemic. It reopened. So what were we supposed to do? Well, there's a limit. You can't just live in your room. You can't sit behind this computer all day, every day. There's only so much TV you can watch. So we go to the pool. And we had a great time. Well, we'd see these girls, and so there were 3 couples and 3 single guys, and once a week, once every other week, we would feed people. We would just have a pool party. And that's how we got to know a lot of the entertainers. That's how we got to know people. And it was, I mean, we could get liquor deliveries, we could get food deliveries. You know, we'd buy a couple, 3 buckets of Jollibee and 2, 3 pizzas, and everybody would splash around, eat, get their fill. We had a great time. It was all pure socialization. Now, we made friends. We met a lot of people. And so time goes on. Well, now when we go out to dinner, we still have that primary group, believe it or not. And we go out to dinner, and sometimes we'll go out to dinner, and then we'll go have a couple cocktails, a few bars. So a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we go out to dinner with friends, and we end up going to a couple of bars. A drink at one bar, a drink at another bar, say hello to, you know. So we know a lot of entertainers. We know the managers. We just know a crap load of people. It's purely social. Now, we go into one of the bars, and there's a group of entertainers that we know, so we invite them over to our table, and they're sitting down, Arlene's chatting, and it's kind of funny because it gets segregated into a girls group and a guys group. You know how that goes. It's the same thing when you have a barbecue back home. So the girls are chat away. The guys are chat away. All right? Totally different conversations, I might add. They're talking about stuff that's not at all what we're talking about. Now, Arlene leans over to talk to me, and she says, hey, you know what? The girls want to have another pool party. They want to go swimming and everything else. So I said, sure, why not? Talk to the guys, and sure, why not? All right, so we set, sort of a tentative time. Well, in the meantime, if those of you that have been following the news, you've seen we've been on the tail end of 2 typhoons, and we had a monsoon come through. So I know what's going to happen. Call this selfish, whatever. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to end up having a potluck type sort of thing at our place, and then everybody's going to go to the pool, or we're going to do something where we bring everything to the pool, and it's going to be a socialization. And if we do that, what's going to end up is they're going to be cooking fish, dried fish, milk fish, tilapia, chicken feet, everything else in my condo, our condo. And I just don't like that smell. So it's like, okay, you have to cook that stuff outside. We have a little setup on the balcony for cooking. Call it a dirty kitchen, whatever you want. All right? So, this past Monday, all right, it's still raining from these residual typhoon and monsoon and everything. And I'm like, man, they're going to cook inside. Oh, no. So I said, and this is purely a selfish on my part. I said, Arlene, you know what? Rather than cook all of this stuff and stink the place up, how about I treat everybody to Korean barbecue? And so that's what we ended up doing. And I've got pictures and everything else to show you. One of the girls has to cancel. So when that girl cancels, another one of the girls says, hey, can I bring my girlfriend? She's never met all of these people. And Arlene and I talked about it. We were very hesitant at first because we don't know them and we don't want drama. And, we're very careful about the people that we associate with out in public and everything. So eventually we said, sure. Well, here is what happens. We go to eat. And so we go to Koreatown. We go to this Korean barbecue place. And we way over ordered. I mean, this is just the beginning of the meat that comes, but we meet the girlfriend. The girlfriend is very shy, quiet, reserved. I mean, around us, she is. And all through dinner, it just is. She just is. Now, she is not going to be mistaken for anything other than what she is, and that is a tomboy. That's the generic term here. All right? Masculine, well groomed, nice, no doubt about it, but there's no mistaking it. So we go, we order, we've got a group together. This is just one picture, just to give you an idea how much we over ordered. We did. We really did. We ended up bringing home a lot. So afterwards, they decided, okay, we're all going to go back to Mike and Arlen's condo, and we're going to have pika pika and drink and karaoke. All right, that's fine. So they end up coming over to our place. So we've got a house full of people, and they are carrying on. Well, I'm sort of, this is a girl thing. And so it's all blah, 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 and it's all in Tagalog. And so, whatever. All right. And trust me, some of them can sing quite well. And trust me, not all Filipinos can sing. So I kind of wander over to my office. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I go out on the balcony, I check things out. Arlene comes out to the balcony and says, hey, let's just call her Charlie. Can Charlie come out and smoke out here on the balcony? And I said, sure, because we don't allow any smoking in our condo. So Charlie comes out. Well, when Charlie comes out, it's just me and her. And, for those of you that know me, I am just not afraid to say what's on my mind. Sometimes it's got a bit of a shock value. And so I did. And let me tell you, she came right back. So for the next couple of hours, intermittently, we would run into it and continue these conversations. So I turned around and, and here's a little something else. Arlene's also grilling out barbecued pork as well. So in the meantime, I start to find out this girl works at a bar. She is a waitress at a lesbian bar. Now, I know lesbian bars exist here. I know that, that they are and everything, but I didn't know any of the ins and outs. So to give you an idea, circled in red is Walking Street. So if you see circled in purple, fuchsia, whatever color that is, all right, that's the street on the other side of Walking Street. And it is apparently has multiple Filipino bars, multiple gay and lesbian bars. And they are, to my conversations, actually totally different. So I asked her, tell me about these bars. Tell me what happens. What's going on? And I was surprised. I was surprised at a couple things. First off, I want to tell you, I had a great time having a conversation with this young lady. All right. Number two, I had no idea that they kept them segregated, that it was normal to have, you wouldn't have like a LGBTQ bar, all right, with intermixing of the sexes. It's male, female. That was the first thing. The second thing, all right, and I want you guys, I'm going to challenge all of you. I want you to know, I want you at the end, we're going to ask you a question and we're going to act based on your responses. So anyways, what we did find out, first off, they don't have a stage, they don't have entertainers, they don't have any of that in this particular bar. Now, I know that there are some places that probably do, but we're unfamiliar with them. Now, I find out a couple of different things. First off, for those of you that want to know, they serve beer, juice, soda, water. No mixed drinks. Beer, whether it's San Miguel or Red Horse, is $1 a bottle. Okay? Number two, yes, they have girls in that bar fine with other girls. And I'm like, what could the demand be for that? I mean, come on. It's not that big a deal. I mean, not the fact of bar finding, but I mean, is it a sustainable type of business? Can somebody make a living? Well, apparently, it very much is. Apparently, they get very busy late, though, very late. She told me that things don't really start happening till almost 1 in the morning. And their hours are from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And they have girls that bar fine. They have social activities. And one of the things I was asking about is, just how big a community is this? Well, apparently it's a much larger community than I gave it any kind of idea about. So then I asked her, I said, well, do guys ever go? Well, we don't allow Filipino guys. Now we do allow Caucasian foreigners, but it's rare. It's like maybe once every other month or so, a foreigner will come in accompanied by a Filipina and socialize. All right. So I said, so if I wanted to go and check this place out, would I be welcome? And she said, well, sure, you'd be welcome. You're not Filipino. They don't want, apparently, Filipino drama. That's the best word that I can say. I mean, I could go into a lot of other details, but either way. So we laughed, we joked, we had a good time. But here's the bottom line. I'm going to ask you 3 things here. The first one is please, if you're familiar with these places, tell us about what you know and your experiences. All right. Oh, by the way, bar fines are 3,000 pesos. So somebody's got a little bit of money, that's for sure. Number 2, we laughed and we joked. What about actually checking it out? Would you want us to go one evening? All right. If Arlen and I and maybe a few other couples go one evening to this lesbian bar and see what it's like in person and then do a video about it. Would you like to see that? Depending on the comments, we'll check it out. Otherwise, this is what I will say. I've been in the healthcare industry since the late 70s. So being exposed to the gay community is nothing at all. I don't see them as any different than anybody else. Male, female, doesn't matter. But I do get a distinct feeling that it is somewhat different here. And if indeed you guys ask us to go, there are some other, let's just say, intriguing aspects to this that I don't know whether it's really something to go into on this video at all, but more of the human interaction and the sociology behind it. But if enough of you say, yeah, Mike, we'd like for you guys to go, we will go and we will do a video about it. In the meantime, please do like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and then finally, have a great, safe day. Thanks. Bye-bye.